Hello, everyone. I'm excited to be here today. Guess what? Today is another Making a Difference with Sandra Uko. Why will make a difference? You probably want to know what the show is all about. What the show is all about. The show is all about making a difference in our world. God has created in each and every one of us talents and skills, gifts that makes us unique and outstanding. And everyone God created has something in them that makes them unique. So, God has called us to make a difference. How do we impact our world? By using the skills and the talent to impact our world, to help people, to change their lives, show them what we are doing, that they can learn and ride on us. And that's why I talk about mentorship. I talk about accountability. You don't want to reinvent the wheel. People have been there before you. You want to ride on their back to get to where you want to be. And with mentorship, you get to your destination much faster than you would without a mentor. And so today I have a difference maker. His name is, okay, I'm here with Jeff Whittle. He's going to be telling us a story, how it's been for him, how he's making a difference in his work. I can tell you he's doing a lot in his work. I didn't understand that. Sorry. So he's doing a lot in his word. And so I'm glad and excited to have him. But before I bring him on board, I'd like to just introduce myself. I'm a leadership coach with the John Maxwell family. I'm also an author, a best-selling author, an IT sales expert for over 20 years in the sales industry, and recently got gifted the Presidential Lifetime Award. And I'm a member of the Toastmasters, and I'm doing a lot, and I'm in my own little space. I'm trying to impact my word. And I'm sure that everyone out there, you're doing something out there that is making you impact your word. So I'm glad to have no other person than Silver String Fitness, Jeff Whittle. He'll be telling us about the story. So the next person you get to see is Jeff himself. He's going to be telling us what he's up to, what he's doing, and we'll go from there. We have a ride with you, sir.
All right, Sandra. Well, right now, I'm a personal trainer, fitness coach. I specialize in working with adults 50 plus, specifically women in their 60s, 70s, and even in their 80s. And we specialize in strength training to keep them strong, fight osteoporosis, avoid falls, because that's a big issue for seniors.
True.
I also do balance training specifically to help avoid falls and make people more stable on their feet. And then finally, I do cognitive training. So I'm a certified brain health trainer. So brain health training uses a combination of physical exercises and mental drills or cognitive drills at the same time to help boost people's, brain capacity and function, and hopefully slow down or even prevent Alzheimer's or other types of dementia. So all of my work is specifically focused on helping seniors be healthier, more stable on their feet. So that's what I'm doing now.
Awesome. Awesome. But before now, what were you doing?
So I, as maybe you can tell from the microphone and stuff, I was a radio announcer for 40
Oh,
years. So, but sitting in front of a microphone for a long time was not very healthy. I, became overweight. I loved being on the radio. I was a DJ, music disc jockey, playing rock and roll and top 40 for many years. And then as I got older, I became a news announcer and a sports announcer. Uh, but, and I loved it, but the industry changed partly, big part because of the internet. Streaming and things has really hurt radio, just like it's hurt newspapers. Um, and because I got out of shape sitting in a studio and not being very active and eating poorly, I gained a lot of weight, decided to join a gym when I was 40, hired a personal trainer, and that was a big key step to where I am now. So I really liked that, got in shape, decided I wanted to become a trainer and help others get in shape as well. And I started training part-time while I was still on the radio. And then when COVID hit and I actually lost my radio job, I went to personal training of seniors full-time. So that's kind of the evolution from I was on the radio. My first time was in high school. I was on the radio on two different radio stations when I was still in high school. So I loved it from a young, from a boy. and did it most of my life, and now I'm in my early 60s and I've kind of made a career change, so really
Awesome.
late in life. So
I
that's kind of
can
how I
see.
got here.
Awesome. Also, I can see the evolution. Went
Yes,
from, you being very healthy, getting a personal trainer, and, you embracing that as a field and as a business that you're into now. And, it's like you learned a lot and you wanted to use it to make a difference in your work. How would you use what you have gotten to help all the people coming? And that's true, you find that old age, most especially women, osteoporosis, they have issues with arthritis and the rest, and they really do need help. And sometimes obesity. If you're in a sedentary job where you have to sit all day, that also affects. And again, when you get so busy, you don't eat healthy. So whatever thing you see around, you just want to mobile. I get that, sir. That's awesome. And how difficult has this been for you, going through this phases in life? Was it that easy? Did you have somebody like a mentor that was there to coach you and help you see that you succeed?
those are great questions, Sandra. So it was difficult because now I'm a small business owner. Before, when I was on the radio most of my life, even though I got a degree in business from a Big Ten university, I never really used it. Being on the radio, I was an employee for someone else, and I was mostly creative. Talking on the radio, writing my own news or what I was going to talk about. So I never had to do budgets or hire people or do marketing or anything like that. I just did my thing. Of course, now that I own my own business, there's so much more to do, aspects I never did. I don't have employees yet, probably soon in the next few months, but learning the business finances and marketing and just all of the stuff that goes along with it that I never had to do before. So I had to learn late in my 50s, in my mid to late 50s, and now in my early 60s that I'm doing all of that and learning that. So I do have a business coach who it's a company, they specialize in personal training, coaching. So they know, they help you develop, your marketing strategy and your sales strategy. And sales, a big part of it is we do rehearsals for consultations and
Teaches.
signing up new clients. So those conversations about helping people discover, what their problems are, what their fears are, what they want to help, what they want to improve in their life, if they physically, their balance or need to get stronger or whatever their issue is. So I do, coaching with them, or the coach helps me work, learn the best way for the sales process, how to
Yeah.
develop those conversations. So that was really huge because I had never done sales before. And like a lot of people, was afraid of sales or didn't really, like the idea of, oh my gosh, I have to go out and sell something to somebody. But the big thing that the business coach talked about that is you have a solution. You need to find the people with the problem that you solve, and then you're doing them a favor. It's not like you're selling them something that they don't need. You're actually, you want to help them solve a problem that they have. So that was a real big mindset, switch that I had to make, because being, oh, I'm selling somebody something. It's like, I'm not selling them a new car or, something they don't need, a nice stereo system or some extravagant thing that they don't need. I'm selling something they really need. So convincing them and not being afraid to present my solution to their problem. So that's
Awesome.
really the
That's a
big,
good one.
yeah.
That's one of my strength area. I've been in sales for 20 years. So, with sales, it helps to build confidence. It helps you to know that for you to go out there to sell, you must have a know-how. You must be coming from the place of knowledge. And you must also find out what's the problem. How do I intend to go from the problem to the solution? What are the processes? Because now you want to get them wrapped into what you're doing. You don't want to look like you're forcing them, but you want to make them see the need while they need your service. And having your sales speech, your sales pitch that will drive them to wanting to look for you, and not you look for them. So it's been awesome. When you're saying all this, I was just laughing. I'm like, this is what I do. This is what I can do for you and assist you if you need help in any way to bring in maybe a sales team together. They must understand what they are selling. And also, you are dealing in a product that is not a physical product. You don't have a physical product. You're dealing in service. You're only providing services. So it takes a lot for people to say they want to buy, because people would tell you, okay, I can set this phone and I can get it. And then now you're telling me, you come for service, come let me help you, show you how to do these things, and you pay me. So it takes a lot. They must be seeing value for their money. So that's
Exactly. And
awesome.
that's a hard, yeah, so for some people, that's kind of a hard transition where it's like selling them an idea, the fact that they can be more fit and their life will be better. They can go out and do things with their friends if they're healthier and they're more stable on their feet, especially if they're in their 70s or beyond. So, yeah, not having a physical product and trying to sell them on an idea of that my service would be right for them is definitely something that some people have a hard time, understanding or being able to actually decide that that's something that they're going to go ahead and do.
Yes, they must see a need. Once they see
Yes.
the need or they have a problem that they want to solve, maybe their doctor had already told them, you're too obese. If you don't watch your weight, you're going to have this infection or this disease. You're going to have this disorder. You won't be able to work. The strength, your weight will be too much in your leg, and you have to end up being on the wheelchair. Once they see the problem and the problem is really magnified, then they're able to make that decision of saying they want to exchange money for service.
Very well said. Yes, that's right.
That's awesome. So whilst doing this, had there been a time you wanted to just, maybe the money wasn't coming as expected? Did you feel like throwing in the towel that, oh, I think I'm done?
Um, I don't know if I ever came to the point where I was going to throw in the towel, but it was certainly a much slower process to get clients and build business. So when I was first training part-time, I remember, some months I would make like $700 for the whole month for training people because I had just a few clients and I wasn't charging very much per session. I didn't have the confidence. And I thought, well, if I charge less, more people will come to me and I'll make more money in volume, in the long run. But yeah, as you shake your
That's
head
not
being a
it.
business coach, it doesn't work that way. But I did start, midway through COVID where things were starting to open up just a little bit. Um, but people were still a little leery. Of course, working with seniors, some are on a fixed income. So that, personal training isn't cheap. It's definitely an investment. Um, Certainly some have nice retirements and are, it's not a problem to afford that, but to convince some folks that it's something they really needed. Some people didn't realize there were personal trainers that specialized in seniors. When you think of personal training, so many of them think of like bodybuilders and things like that, that they're like, well, I don't want to look like a bodybuilder, especially the ladies, most of them, oh, and certainly all the older ladies, no ladies over 60 want to look like a bodybuilder that I've found anyway. Um, so convincing them that no, this is something that will be appropriate for you and will benefit you. Um, but it's but I've slowly grown now. This will be my 10th year at the end of this year. So it's been
Wow.
about 9 years and it was very slow. And then shortly after I started, my wife and I actually moved from Los Angeles back to San Diego. So not only was I switching careers, but I was changing cities, even though Los Angeles and San Diego are only about 100 miles apart. I didn't know many people. A lot of all my contacts were in Los Angeles. So I really kind of had to start from scratch when I moved to San Diego. So it's been about 3 years. And I will say this year, 2025, barring some unforeseen disaster or whatever change of events in the world, another pandemic or who knows, I should make six figures this year. So I
Awesome.
have grown from a few $100s a month to $9,000 a month or more
Wow.
in personal training alone.
Oh, that's awesome. And there's nothing like doing what you love to do. You get to put all your effort, everything, you throw in everything into it. That's awesome. And people can see passion and people move where there is passion. People go to where there is passion. So they can see that you're really training them well. That's awesome.
Yes, I really, when I'm working one-on-one with someone and we're actually going through the exercises and I'm having them do some balance stepping or even if they're lifting weights because they need to, build strength because they're getting frail and or their bones may be weak, osteoporosis, lifting weights is the best way to not only build muscle but to strengthen your bones. And since I specialize in older ladies, most of them have osteoporosis. But when I'm there, on the floor working with them or in the gym, when I say on the floor, and sometimes on the floor, we're down doing core
Mhm.
exercises, literally laying on the floor, and I'm laying there next to them, coaching them through, I really enjoy it. I'm just totally invested in them. I'm only thinking about them. I'm like, okay, what can we do right here, right now to get them a little bit stronger? It's like I'm just trying to get you a little bit stronger today, and then tomorrow a little bit stronger.
And
You
gradually you
familiar with
get to
the
your goal.
James Clear, the author, Atomic
Oh
Habits?
my God, awesome book.
Yes. So I listen to the audiobook when I'm out running with my dogs. I've listened to it like 4 times, but he's like small improvements all the
The
time, make
time.
big changes over time.
Yes.
Just always like every day, 1% better
Small
at this.
movements, small changes over time makes big movements.
Exactly. So I'm not only, with my business and my personal life, but with my clients as far as getting them stronger. It's like, okay, today we're doing just something like this, and okay, we're using 5 pounds. Maybe tomorrow we can use 6 or 7 pounds, and just a little bit, or we did 10 repetitions. Well, maybe tomorrow we can do 12, and so I'm always just looking for ways to inch them along a little bit better to get better and better. So every day, and when they're in front of me, that's all I'm focused on. It just kind of takes over, my enthusiasm for it. And it's like I just see that person there, and my goal is just to help them. And I kind of block out everything else until I'm like done training for the day. And then I'm like, oh, I got to catch up on my emails. And I got these phone calls to return. Because when I'm working with somebody, I phone calls, I can't answer phone calls or
No, you
emails or
can't.
anything. I'm not at the desk. So it's like at the end of the day, I have all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, now I have to do like the unfun part of owning a business, or less fun, all the stuff administrative and things that go on as well. But when I'm actually there one-on-one with that person in front of me, that's the only thing I think of. And like I said, it just kind of comes over me and I don't even know where it comes from. But it's like that's the only person
But
I
that's awesome.
see.
That's what you talk about passion. You're
Yes.
all focused, you're all into it.
Yes.
What's your
Exactly.
plan in helping this generation? Mentoring young people probably are thinking, okay, can I have this as a side gig? Can I have this as a side business? So what is your plan to do that for those coming behind you?
Um, knowledge is a big part of it. When you get certified, you have the concepts out of the book, but when you go out and start working with people and everyone is different, somebody has a knee pain, somebody has back pain, somebody has a bad shoulder. So there's a lot of things you come up against out in the real world that maybe you're not trained for. Experience will help you. I have 6,000 sessions that I've trained with people. So I've learned a lot of things, and especially it's almost all been with seniors. So if we come up on something, I have the knowledge and experience to say, okay, if that hurts your knee, let's try this. We can still do some exercises, but we'll find a way to do that. So for young people coming up, building knowledge so they can actually help people, specializing in a very defined niche like I have, instead of saying I'll train anybody from 7 to 70, doesn't work because you can't specialize. You
You must
can't
have
get
a
really
niche.
great in one thing. You need to pick and it also helps with marketing, Sandra, because now I'm not trying to, network with kids and wherever they're hanging out on their social media type of things, TikTok and all of that. I don't have to do all of that. I
Yeah,
know
because you
who
know
my
your
people
niche.
are. I know where they go, because so it's counterintuitive. You think, oh, I'm excluding all of these people, but it's better to be a specialist, an expert in a very defined field than knowing a little bit about a whole bunch of things. So for younger people, pick a niche, decide who you want to work with. I mean, if you're a young trainer in your 20s or 30s and you want to work with young ladies and young guys to get big and strong, or maybe athletes or something, and then you could be specific athletes. Some people just work with runners, teaching them how to run, how to prevent injuries, how to get their legs strong the correct way. Whatever you
I get
really
what you
like,
mean.
specialize in that. Ignore the old people, ignore the, whatever,
And you
if
just
that's
stay
what you want,
focused.
and get great at
What you
who,
do.
yeah, of your audience, and get to know their problems and develop your solutions. So I have solutions to old people's problems. I don't have any solutions to young people that want to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
No,
I don't do that. I don't want to do that. And they don't want to do that with me anyway, now that I'm in my
really true.
60s, That was kind of one of the things that did it. It's like I'm already in my late 50s when I got certified, and I worked at a gym, a couple of the big box gyms, they call them, and I was a trainer, so I worked with people of all ages, whoever came in.
Yeah.
But the young people didn't want to work with me because they're like,
I
you're
know.
not big and muscular. They want to look with like guys that are football players and stuff. They're
You
like, okay,
know.
I want to look like him, so I want to train with him, but I'm in good shape for my early 60s. So older folks are like, okay, I want to kind of stay young like you, even though you're almost a senior. I'll be 65 later this year. So,
Wow. You
yeah,
don't look
exactly.
it.
So they're like, okay, if I can keep younger, young feeling, like you, then they'd be happy. So that works
Awesome.
perfect for my audience.
Then how do you get certified to be a certified trainer? Do you know
So
some people
how do you
just
get
train on their
certified?
own?
There,
How would you advise them to go about their certification?
so the number one certification body is called NASM, National Academy of Sports Medicine, NASM. And they train most of the trainers uh, get their certification there. So it's a hard study course. So you have to learn most of the muscles and anatomy, the bones. So
Yeah,
there's,
true.
there's that aspect of it. Of course, then they teach you the training principles on how to get the muscles stronger and just all of these things. So I studied, because I was just doing it part-time, I studied for about a year before I even took the course. Now I did really well on the exam, but I studied longer than I needed to. But you really need to know the stuff. Don't just, so you get the book, the manual, the book's about this thick, the course. If you just buy like the course, it's like $800. And then you can get a study course where you can get all these extra videos to help you study and explain everything to you. And you can spend $1,500 buying, a big certification package. Um, but not just trying to pass the test, but part of the reason it took me so long is because I really wanted to know the material. It's like I want to memorize this, and when I'm working with somebody, I want to know it. I'm not just going to study it and then take the test and not remember a lot of it like I did in high school and grade school, and
True.
things like that. It's like I just want to pass the test. But here I really wanted the knowledge for the rest of my life. And because people's health is and fitness and safety is actually on the line when you're working with seniors, you have to be careful if we're doing balance exercises that they don't fall. I mean,
True.
people's life and well-being is
In your
literally in
hands.
your
So you want
hands,
to
just
manage it well.
like with the doctor. So I really wanted to know that. But you know, big part of it is you just have to, once you get certified, you just have to start working with people to get out there and find all of the different issues people have, different body types, different strengths, you know, and just work with as many people as you can. Maybe you even just start working with everybody till you decide who you want to work with, because not
Yeah.
everybody at the beginning says, oh, I want to work with, you know, housewives after they've had kids. You know, so that's a big thing that some lady trainers will do, is maybe they're a mom and had kids and they gained some weight. So they're like, I want to help moms that are in their, you know, 30s and maybe 40s that have had kids that want to lose the baby weight, you know, and things like that. So maybe that's what they want to specialize in. Or maybe somebody played college soccer or football and they're like, I want to train high school, you know, kids that their parents have enough money to send them to, you know, get training so they get better at their sport in high school. So I want to train young athletes, you know, whatever. Maybe you don't know in advance. But so going out there and just working with different types of people, different ages and things like that, people with different goals, and decide who you like and then specialize. Then you don't have to know in advance, but I would advise you to try to figure it out pretty quickly and then specialize, you
Yeah,
know,
that's a
then
great
then
one.
do all of your studying for them, you know, all of the material, you know, because there's so now in the information age and on the internet, there's a
Yeah, so
billion
much
videos and
information
a
out
billion
there.
articles and a billion books. Just find the ones that serve your audience and get
Awesome.
really, really good at that. And then your competition can't touch you, because I want in San Diego here, when they think about balance training or training for seniors, they think about me because they know that's exactly what I do, you know.
Wow. Awesome. 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 That's a great one. Very great. Knowing your, and that's the same thing with sales. Sales talks about the funnel shape. You know the way the funnel is. The
Hmm.
first few years, you're out there talking to just everybody. But as time goes on, it's getting down smaller and it's coming down to the, you know, the round parts that brings in. So, you know, you go from a larger audience and you reduce to a specified one. You now know this is my niche. Then I can focus on them, study about them, know what they like, and know how to help them. Because you must have a solution to a specific group of people and not for all. Awesome. It's been a great
Yes.
time talking to you. And I want to say thank you. I also want to thank our audience who have been on this show. Thank you so much. And if this story of Jeff Whittle really blessed you, it's something you want to share with your loved ones. He said a leader is one who knows it, does it, and shares it with others. So let's go out there, like the video, gives a thumbs up, ask whatever question you want to ask. I can always, you know, pass it on to Jeff himself. And please help us, you know, hit the notification bell so that whenever we're online, you are one of the first people that would know that we're online and you can join us in our live streaming. Thank you so much, everyone. You have a blessed and a good evening. Bye, everyone. Bye, Mr. Jeff.
Okay. Bye, Sandra. Thanks so much for having me.
If you've made it this far into this video, thank you for watching. And don't forget to subscribe so you can support your girl. Thank you.